Like to call the Township of Grosse Downtown Development Authority meeting to order. The first item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda, and we're making two changes. Action item number 1 should read a motion to elect a chairman to the Downtown Development Authority. And item number 5, the original Downtown Development Authority parking lot is being deleted, and we're adding the approval of the 2025 DDA budget as our new number 5. So with those two changes, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I approve.
Motion by Ms. Armiak,
Second.
support by Mr. Jacobson, and I should have started with roll call, so I'm going to back up and roll call is Chairman Moran is here, Supervisor Porcerelli,
Here.
Mr. Anderson,
Here.
Ms. Stanko,
Here.
Ms. Pusak, Mr. Ranley,
Here.
Ms. Armiak,
Here.
Ms. Karn is excused, Mr. Jacobson.
Here.
Now we will move on to the presentations of the Grosse Downtown Development Authority 2025-2026 budget. Ross?
Good evening, everyone. I'll just kind of skim over this so that we don't take up too much time here, but if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to stop me. So you can see, starting at our property tax collections for revenues, we see a $16,000 increase, an 8% increase in revenues, which is great. You can see a new budget item line here for grant revenue, which is around $54,000. I'll be sure to get into that later in our expenditures. Interest and income, $1,500, and prior year resources of $105,000, which is $34,000 less than last year. Just a summary to show that we have a balanced budget. So our expenditures, we are proposing a slight increase in director salary with FICA, health insurance, life insurance, retirement, vision, everything else to slightly increase. We're seeing here a $15,000 decrease in event supplies. I'll be sure to get back, include where we're allocating those funds as we go through this report. This $5,000 includes event supplies and the Christmas tree. Our professional services, so we see a $50,000 line item for the DDA TIF plan and zoning updates, which is reflected from that grant revenue that we see on that other page, as well as a streetscape design plan, which you all saw an RFP probably about 3 or 4 months ago. We are going to wait until the master plan is updated and adopted to do these 2, or really 3 plans here. Then Rains, engineering, event coordinator. So last year we had the event coordinator in the event supplies column. So that was just kind of shifted over to this line item. The maintenance of the street, keeping the same. Flower seasonal, we will be approving flower services for Macomb Street tonight. The DDA grant funds will maintain at $20,000. If you guys all remember, last year we increased this $10,000 to $20,000. That's just not reflected in this budget report. Then going to capital improvements, we have approximately $107,000 for Lions Park. And granted, this entire budget report is assuming that we do not get the grant from MEDC. If we are given that grant, then we will have to go through and do a complete budget amendment. So, and then $34,000 for the DDA parking lot. Hopefully we can get that repaved. I believe Monday we just got approved for concrete contracting. The township just got a bid for that. So legal fees are increasing a little bit because this past year we did have a decent amount of legal fees. The event sponsorship program. So that's where you're seeing the decrease in total event supplies over here and being shifted into a different line item specifically for the event sponsorship program, which we will be voting on tonight. Telephone staying the same. Street lighting is increasing a little bit because we did just get that new bid. And then also for maintaining street lights on Macomb Street. And then principal payments and interest expense. So if there's any questions.
Where are things like the support for the, I was going to call it the wrong thing from my previous life, the parade, Island Fest parade, and do we still sponsor the concerts in the park? Like those kind of things? Where is that?
So according to what we spent on last year, that would be in our event supplies for $5,000. So really, we don't spend any funds for concerts in the park. That's all. We just promote it and market it with. Well, actually, we do. It's about $1,000, isn't it?
It was either that or 1,500. I forget which.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. So that, and then for Island Fest, that's about another $1,500. So that's $3,000.
Just the word supply is messing my brain up, so a little bit.
So, and then the farmers market, that's just a banner. So that's another thing. A lot of our events it's just banners or, bags that were like $500. So we should be able to cover all of our events that we have right now.
Event supplies and support kind of thing.
Yep.
Okay.
And then of course, and then any additional events, for instance, if, Island Fest wanted to have more things than they had in the past, they could come and present and say, hey, these are more things that we'd like to have for our the fair this year. Or if the Alliance of the Arts said, hey, we want to add a great new stage with lighting or something like that, we would like to, they could come and request those funds from us too. So.
Gotcha.
The principal payments, Ross.
Yep. So there was an administrative error over the past 5 years or so for the payment in lieu of taxes. This is getting into the weeds a bit. So the Island Woods Apartments on Macomb Street.
What?
Then
Sorry.
turn right on Brew Road.
Sorry.
Yeah.
In the weeds.
Let's take
So-
you back to jury duty. Sorry.
The Island Woods Apartments on Macomb Street, that is a low income housing for senior housing that's on Macomb Street. So there's a program through the state where basically they're kind of forgiven on certain tax amounts. The DDA had been collecting those taxes over the past 5 years in the amount of approximately $70,000. So our finance director basically corrected that, and we have to pay that money back with interest to the township. So it's unfortunate. It was an administrative error that, that happened. I think dating back to 2019, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah,
How long is it going to take to pay it back?
5 years. Yep. So, hopefully I explained that correctly.
Is that the end?
That's it.
I will open it up for any comments, questions, discussion. It's a pretty simple budget. We don't have that many items. If there's no other questions, thanks, Ross. We will move on to our next item, which is the approval of the January 23rd, 2025 minutes. Hopefully, everybody's had a chance to review those.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Ranley, supported by Ms. Armiak, to approve the minutes of the January 23rd, 2025. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Next item is our financial update, the approval of the January 2025 financial report. Got a motion by Mr. Anderson. support by Ms. Stanko. Ross, anything you want to point out that's unusual in the report?
Nope, nothing unusual. Just payment to Smith Group for that grant application. At least a portion of the payments for that grant application.
Any idea when we're going to hear, when they make their decision?
They said by the end of spring. No definitive month, date, anything. So,
Is there any other questions on the financial report? Hearing none, we have a motion by Mr. Anderson, supported by Ms. Stanko. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Our first action item is a motion to elect a chairman of the Downtown Development Authority.
Motion to elect Ron Moran as chairman.
Second.
Got a motion by Supervisor Porcelli, supported by Ms. Armiak, to elect Ron Moran as chairman of the Downtown Development Authority. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in
From
favor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Thank you. Our next action item is a motion to approve the 2025-2026 Downtown Development Authority meeting dates.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Jacobson,
I'll support.
support by Mr. Ranley to approve the meeting dates. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Action item number 3 is a motion to award the hanging flower basket installation project to J&S Gardens in the amount not to exceed $3,400. Motion by Mr. Anderson,
Support.
support by Ms. Stanko. Is there any further discussion? Hopefully everybody's had a chance to see the 3 estimates that were submitted.
It's kind of our understanding that there's not a whole lot of vendors that will take this on anymore, so we're lucky to have a choice, you know?
Yeah.
And not that Eckert's hasn't done a great job over the past couple of years, but
yeah, I actually went. I had a doctor's appointment in Sterling Heights today, and I picked up all the baskets, the 80 baskets. So they're sitting in my car right now, probably just soaking my car. But and the guy was like, "Yeah, I'm kind of done." He's like, "I'm winding down." That's why he's. I think I forgot who bought the business, but somebody bought Eckert's out. So
the name is in a folder somewhere, but.
yeah. And if you all know somebody who would be, we're going to be putting out a job position to water the plants, which has historically been an issue. So if you know anyone, or if you have any kids that would like to participate or make a few bucks,
I cringe at kid.
yeah.
But that's just.
Or I forgot what the township policy is, but I know that the rec department hires as young as 15. So
Do you have any numbers or like hours, so at least maybe I can put it out to school or something?
yeah, I'm going to put
Yeah.
something together tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
And then send it to the rec department.
All right.
And send it to Kelly Chesser at the schools. So
We have the equipment, like a
we have the
tank,
equipment. We have the water
sprayer and a
sprayer.
tank.
Yeah,
I mean, the equipment could be better. I mean, I think we can take a look at how we can do it better.
Yeah.
You know, the issue with students, for my business also, is that they're in school through June. And you really have to be consistent about the watering. So it's, you know, it's been a challenge to find the right person who has the time.
Township can't support that?
DPS is pretty maxed out as it is. The rec department, they're busy, with golf and getting ready for summer and getting the pool ready. I mean, I might have to end up taking a truck out and just doing it myself if that's what it comes down to. I don't mind, but
It's the under why me too clause.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what it is.
I think one of the best ones, and Sue Lauer could tell you that we had a retired gentleman And I think Trenton has someone that's a retired person that's from that worked for the city of Trenton. Because it's a job.
Yeah.
It's not a hobby.
Right. Yeah, it takes probably, you have to water twice a week, right? And that probably takes,
And I think you need to be aware of the weather, and you know these do have, like, you know, H2O saver capability to them, and et cetera, but you know, if we're putting thousands of dollars into flowers, we don't want them to die.
yeah.
And if they are pretty and they look nice and they do a lot, I mean, just for the optics of Macomb, you know.
Right.
Can you get me that list of what, like, how much time approximately?
I believe
Yep.
so. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yep.
Or some kind of
The pay.
motorized vehicle that.
Their own? We don't provide that, right?
No.
Okay.
What goes with it? Yeah, they have to have their own car. Right?
Yep.
They got-
and at one point in time, the garden club did buy like a gator, but then it was deemed illegal to take the gator.
I wonder who the police chief was back then.
I mean, the guy that hit the other car at Macomb and Park Lane, and I said, that's not working for me.
So, but I know Robert Sawyer, when he did it, he would do it out of the back of his Jeep. Like,
Yep.
you know, he had an open air kind of vehicle. So you do need some kind of vehicle to go up and down the road to do it. So.
Yeah. Hopefully, because I saw ladies doing it last summer. Hopefully Sue would be able to get us those contacts to see if they would be willing to do it again. I'm not sure who
I'm
that
not
was.
close.
Yeah.
Any other comments, questions? Hearing none, we have a motion by Mr. Anderson, supported by Ms. Stanko. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Next item, action item, is a motion to approve the Downtown Development Authority Event Sponsorship Program.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So just kind of bringing this back to you all. Last month, I think that there were some concerns about, the parameters of the program itself. What kind of events would be sponsored through this program. Ultimately, it would be up to the board to make that decision. Anybody could be, willing to come up here and say, hey, I think that, this is a great idea. And if you guys say, well, I don't think that's a great idea, we're not going to sponsor this. So, but I put an example of eligible events like live music, art festivals, food truck rallies, open air markets, car cruises, holiday parades, marathons. An example of eligible expenses: vendors, musicians, event materials, stages, tables, chairs, signage, and marketing services. And then at the bottom, there's only expenses approved on the submitted application for repayment. Additional expenses not stated in the original application should not be reimbursed, so on and so forth. So, and then on the third page is that application.
And will you post this on our website, or is that how people become aware of the opportunity?
Yep, and then I'll be sure to make, flyers to share on social media, have flyers up on, at the building department too, so people are aware.
And so if I wanted to do an event, I have to be thinking ahead, because if I want to do the event in July, I need to have this approved and bring it to the board by June. So, I mean, it takes some planning and organization
Yeah,
and ownership. Okay.
definitely. Yeah, I mean, unless, there was something really great and they were like, hey, is there any way that we could push this through earlier? I mean, that would be up to the board to kind of manage. But yeah, we would hope that if you are requesting funds, that you have a good strategy in mind, you have a good plan, so that it is successful for Macomb Street and the community and at that. So
There's no other questions. I'll entertain a motion to approve the sponsorship program.
Motion to approve?
I'll support.
Motion by Mr. Armiak, supported by Ms. Pusak. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Action item number 5 is a motion to approve the Roseville Downtown Development Authority 2025-26 budget.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Pusak,
I'll second.
supported by Mr. Jacobson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Our next item is our discussion item, the social district logos brochure to residents and an April meeting date at the VFW Hall. Ross?
Yep, so we're going to be mailing out brochures to invite folks to the VFW on April 24th. So I'll be sure to remind you guys several times before the meeting that we will be having it at the VFW, and we'll kind of set it up and kind of just manage it as a typical meeting. I don't think it would be televised unless we want to live stream it. I'm not sure how.
What type of meeting is it?
It would be a DDA meeting, but it would be held at, like, just like a meeting like tonight, but it'll be at the VFW.
I think all meetings by policy have to be televised, but I'm not sure. No, hold on. Maybe we can get it just, it's open, obviously, and that's what you want, open to the public, but I guess I've never seen a meeting. I don't know, Ron, have you guys ever had a meeting somewhere else?
Not that I'm aware
You know
of.
what I mean? That, because we have a policy of all meetings are to be archived, and the only way to archive them is to tape them or video. Maybe we can, it's a special, let's figure something out. I'll talk to Brian. I mean,
What was the reason for having that there?
We just thought it would be a good idea to have it on Macomb Street because it is, you know,
Okay.
a DDA initiative. It's a Macomb Street initiative, and it's kind of it's not a big deal, but it's something that kind of, it changes a little bit of Macomb Street, the feel of Macomb Street for all of our events, and for the businesses in general.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
That
good for
meeting is
Macomb, it's
Really,
good
you're gonna
for,
introduce this entire program to the residents, the community then, right?
Yep. Yeah, and I oh, go ahead.
we'll do something.
Okay.
Forget, yeah, we'll figure it out. How about that? I'll tell you.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it's good purpose.
Yeah, I think, and like, you know, we're meeting out there. We're, you know, I think the intent is there, right? So, but so this is kind of the look and feel of. There's a lot of blank space here, and that was intentionally on this brochure. So it'll be a foldable brochure, kind of informing them what a social district is, where to meet, what time to meet. So I would just kind of want to present this to you guys to see if you guys have any other ideas what we should include on the brochure. I'll have a complete one by next meeting, but just
We didn't choose our logo though yet, did we?
we did.
We did.
Yep. So it's the Macomb Street Social District one, where you see everyone kind of cheersing. That will be the signage throughout, and then on the cup it'll be on the cup, and then on the ticket will be Macomb Street Social District ticket with the business's logo on the side. So you could say I got a ticket to come in to Lloyd's, or this is a Lloyd's ticket, so that, you know, in the event that, you know, a police officer or whoever would be like, hey, that's open container. He's like, no, I got a ticket. You know, like, don't give me a ticket, I have one.
Clarify this, the signage on the glasses. Are both of those going to be on those glasses?
Yep. So it'll say Macomb Street District on one side, and then as you rotate it, it'll have Lloyd's or.
Perfect, okay,
Yep.
I thought so, I just want to make sure.
But the main logo will be on signage. It'll be kind of like on our social media, that sort of thing. Any sort of communications out to the community about certain events or, you know, rules and regulations or what have you about the social district, it'll have that logo.
Any questions about the social district logo?
Up and down Macomb Street or just in front of the establishments?
Yeah, so it'll be up and down Macomb Street. We're thinking about ending it right at Nate's, so that it wouldn't kind of encroach into. So, like, if we were to close down the street or what have you on that eastern portion, for, you know, in the future, if that's ever a decision we would like to make to have an open air market, it wouldn't kind of disrupt those living in the condos near East River. So.
Down to Macomb and Meridian then?
Yep, and you can have the district go into parks, so we would have it at Lions Park as well for events. and those sorts of things. So
Launches in June. I see is the date listed there on the brochure.
that's the
Intent.
anticipated date, because we were hoping that in April we would formally reapprove the social district for it to go to the board in sometime in May to send to the state, and then however long that takes to get the approval from the state, anticipating June, maybe July. So I'm sure we'll have a study session with the new board on this, because we had a study session with the old board. Remember up over here?
Over here.
Yeah.
Upstairs.
So
Yeah.
we can have another study session with,
That would be helpful.
yeah, to just kind of explain to them exactly what's going on, the rules and regulations around social districts.
That would be very helpful.
And I've spoken at length with Chief Carmack on this. He thinks, if anything, it just helps, more transparency with events on Macomb Street. Some people hide things pretty uniquely, so it's sort of, hey, like, we know if somebody has a cup, like, with the logo, that kind of helps us, put us at ease, so.
I wonder if it would be helpful, and the only one I can think of is Jeremy, that owns Lloyd's, because he owns, Tarago, like someone who is already participating in a social district, to try to encourage at least him to be there, to maybe answer from, a restaurant owner's perspective.
Yeah, definitely. I'll get in contact. So right now, since Ume moved their liquor license to their new location, we only have Perdino's, Lloyd's, and Sully's. So, I'm not. No, he would not. No.
I can't serve.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So, but with the Literary Hideaway opening up with their liquor license, they would qualify. We would just, depending on when they open or when they get approved for their liquor license by, May, when we would send this to the board. If anybody were to want to join to a social district with a liquor license, they would just have to fill out an application with us, and then we would send that application off to the state, and then they'd be good. So
The Glendo's liquor license still in process?
still in process, yeah.
They don't have it yet.
Yeah. I've reached out to them. They seem to, they're doing really well without it. It is a $20,000 cost for a redevelopment liquor license. So I think that they might be weighing the cost of, hey, maybe it's not worth it, because to my understanding, they're doing very well. So, but maybe when we adopt the social district, they'll want to follow through with it. So.
So when we hold ladies' night out or any of the summer events, does this like any the food trucks or any vendors that does this give them access to sell alcohol, or does that?
So I think that for events, we would still have to send an event application to the state with individual vendors to say, hey, they will be participating in this event.
Not a blanket.
No,
Yeah.
it's because when we file this to the state, we say, hey, these are the business IDs of each business participating. This is
Because
their.
they're gonna sell it. So, I mean, like, if in theory, I mean, for the other events, I'm giving you a sample tasting of wine. I'm not selling you a glass of wine.
We're gonna have to talk about ladies' night
Right.
out. But yeah, so like any individual vendors will have to plan out for accordingly. We're gonna have to get ahead of. I think Chad put in his application like 6 months ago for Island Fest. So and he got his back. I'm not sure how long, but it takes a long time for event liquor sales and that sort. So. That's where, like, Ladies' Night Out would definitely benefit Perdino's, Lloyd's, and Sully, so that's sort of the incentive, right, for these events. Like,
Yeah.
let's line up at Sully's, get our drinks and walk around,
Yeah.
so.
There's no doubt. I think it implies that a social district is I can have open containers
Right.
with it on Macomb, right? And so the education of what it is and isn't going to be important. But
Definitely. Yeah, that's why at each location, there's going to be the do's and do nots. We're going to really, I mean, if we do adopt this and it's approved at the state level, like maybe even like making a, doing an ad in the Girls Deal Grand, like really putting this everywhere, saying like, hey, these are the rules. This is what it's not, because I'm sure there's going to be rumors of, this is, I can buy a fifth at the hardware store and walk around and.
where do I buy my cup so I can
Exactly,
the cooler I
yeah.
got them in tow. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And it's not like other, like other towns and townships don't have social, I mean, like, we're not the first.
No, yeah.
So, I mean, the rules are the rules everywhere you go.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think it's almost up to like 85 townships, cities, and villages that have this. I mean, there's some towns of that has like 1,000 people in it up in the UP that has 1 or 2 bars, right? And they have a social district. So it's sort of back in like 2020 when this was first adopted by the state. It was sort of this like taboo thing, right? But now you go to Wyandotte and you can walk around and you're like, oh yeah, this is a social district. Everyone's sort of used to it and understands like, hey, this is what it's not, right?
Well, what's unique with us is we have 3 places that
Exactly.
that will be able to sell versus a Wyandotte where you can go into virtually any building and participate in it. So the parades, the lady nights out, any big gathering, I think that's where it we're gonna
Have to really educate.
yeah.
That's where, at Ladies Night Out, we can have signage. It'd be like, hey, like, we are letting you know this is what this is. What you're not allowed, whatever you do outside of that, that's up.
It'll be a great draw for those 3 places for
Yeah,
sure.
right, yeah, exactly. So,
That's good. It'll be a good thing.
and then as we get closer to this, I'm going to continue to work closely with the police department on, on information, because the police department does a great job communicating with the residents. So, I'll work close with Chief Carmack on that too. So.
Thanks, Ross.
Yep.
Move on to our next item, which is the GI sculpture.
So, just a few things. The master plan action items that we approved, I believe, last month went to Planning Commission. A lot of things that we recommended to them was not approved. There's a lot of stuff that they either amended or deleted. So, and everything will be posted online soon. Exactly what was changed from what we recommended to what was actually adopted. So. Things are not finalized there, but I did just want to let you guys know, give you information about that. So, and then our interdepartmental loan was not approved either. If we were to be approved for the grant through MEDC, we all kind of recommended to the township board to approve us for a loan if that contingent upon an approved grant. That was not approved either. So, just kind of want to let you guys know about that too. So. Other than that, that's it.
The sculpture.
Oh, yes.
Updated
Oh,
sculpture.
sorry. And then the GI sculpture. So, to my understanding, I spoke with Kelly Chesser at the schools. She stated that that 2 art teachers will be working with classrooms to create a mural on the sculpture. So, it'll be kind of 1 year, one section of the mural will be completed, and then on the back, the seniors will sign it, and then the next year they'll kind of add to that mural, and then the seniors that year will sign it on the back, and that'll kind of go in stages as seniors kind of graduate. So they will be doing a presentation hopefully next month.
To
So-
us, they're going
To
to
us.
present us
Yeah,
what
yep.
their plan is.
Yep, that is the hope anyway. So just want to kind of let you guys know about that.
Ross, on the loan for the park. So the feedback from the township meeting was I think 2 or 3 of the no votes was that they didn't understand the budget, and if we can afford to loan the DDA the money, but once the budget is reviewed, it's maybe something the township would consider. So do we intend to go back? Do we have any timing on when the township board may be ready to re-entertain the request?
Yeah, that's a conversation I'll continue to have with board members. I think that the timing of it was just not ideal. These were township board members, many of which they're brand new to the position, reading through budgets of, for various departments and still learning a lot. So to that point, I think that kind of, if we are approved, I would have those discussions with township board members to see if it is worth going up there and asking again. But at that same time, I mean, we'll try to, and if that's not the case, we'll continue to seek alternative funding mechanisms for this too. So,
Okay, thanks.
Any questions for us? Hearing none, move on to next item, which is the chairman's report. I have nothing new to report tonight, so we'll move on to public comment.
Just wanted to see the show live, he told me.
So, Ross, obviously the big question is what's going on at the tallies. But the building came down so fast. Wow.
yeah. I thought it was coming down later in March. So to see
It
it
was
come,
the perfect day, like no dust, no dirt, no, yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
As the neighbor says.
yeah. No rumor. I mean, there are rumors, but nothing yet that's come to the table. I'm sure, I kind of told you guys this earlier, but just to say it publicly, an Olive Garden has not been presented to the township. So
Not happening.
I know that there was somebody got a targeted ad and then posted that on Grosse now, and it's been, I think the comment section is probably up to 300, and I got five calls that day. Why the heck are we allowing an Olive Garden to come in? I have nothing on my desk that says that it's coming. So I'd say maybe take a beat and get off social media for the night and spend time with family or something. So
And you mentioned Kelly, with the high school, and I didn't have the opportunity to reply to this, but I don't know if this went out to the entire business listing or not, but there's a job fair next Wednesday, I believe, at the high school. So if you're looking for, businesses are looking for student help through the summer.
yeah, thanks. Yeah,
I'm
thanks.
afraid to turn my phone back on and look at the email because Waves will tell me to go downtown. But it's like a lunchtime event, but
Yeah,
might be good for, I don't know if we could shoot out an email.
Yeah, so Kelly had reached out to me for our business list. So
Okay.
our business list is not perfect, but I'm constantly trying to update it.
Never will
So
be.
I think that she got a lot of businesses on Macomb Street. So
The job fair is on March 5th, and it is from 10:20 to 11:45 at the high school during their lunch period. You're welcome.
Is there any other open business from any board member?
Do we have an estimated time as to when the township will put the information out for the bridge so that we can share it with our suppliers?
Yes, what we're doing, I talked to Jerry about this. Everything that was given out at the meeting and put out so far about the weights are still in place. The problem that we had, I don't know if you caught the last meeting, but I wasn't, let's just say this. I wasn't happy with the pricing of some of the fees for the trucks. So we wanted to put it all out at once, the information. But Jerry brought up a really good point. Even though when you put out half the information, sometimes you get more phone calls. But what I may do tomorrow, we're having Brian work on this, is put out what we have so far. Unfortunately, I'm getting fees from those other bridges in Michigan. One is in Bay City. There's Mackinac. I think there's two in Bay City, though. But anyway, we're going to revisit the fees for the commercial vehicles at the minimum. And the township is we don't produce a product, we produce a service. And we give you a service, obviously, so we have to be fair and just in what we do, and not to say that it wasn't. Now, please don't read into that again, and I keep saying that. But we're just gonna adjust things, but we didn't put it out yet. But it's still, so you know, because there's still talk out there, it's still April 1st, according to them. They haven't changed anything yet. That's the county. That's all I'm saying. No more. The weight limits for the bridge is up to 24,000 pounds. And all trailers, we just got them today too, bunch of emails. I've never seen, unless some of you have seen a trailer more than 24,000 pounds. I'm not talking about a construction trailer. I'm talking about your own personal camping for the weekend trailer and things like that, and landscape trailers. And I've never seen one over 24,000. Anything from 24,000 1 pound to 48,000 will be escorted outside of rush hour. Now that should be out there already. I'm going to check in the morning, but the fee schedule is what we've been asked for, and I'd like to change it. So I don't want to put the old fee schedule out and let them see it and then have issues.
When you say it's out there, where do you mean?
Oh, on our website.
Okay.
There is a separate, I had Brian put out a separate, and I will check, I have Brian tomorrow for his budget hearing. I guess his budget will be predicated on what I see out there, but we're going to make sure we add to that so the people, and I will continue. I may put another Facebook post out tomorrow just to reiterate what we already have. I want to make sure, I've been working with the people, and I know this isn't really like your businesses, but the people having a private construction at their homes, they're having deliveries with trucks, the real estate issues, redoing the homes, not just building the homes. You on Macomb Street with deliveries at the airport. I'm not sure other any business areas have, well, the beer trucks and that, they can get over. Everybody's happy. Those, because it's 24,000 and 24,000 to 48,000, you can still get over. So we're not, and yes, our engineers have upped it. It's a safe amount. It is what it is, and please understand that if you owned a bridge, you could just say only bicycles could go over. But we did what was said. We're not being irresponsible. We're not being anything other than what's correct for the weight limits. And it's about damage, not critical infrastructure collapsing. I've been asked that so many times. It's about the damage to the bridge and the weight. And that's, everything else is really good, believe it or not, on that bridge. So, but it does the repair. So I will check tomorrow for you for sure. Jerry brought up, like I said, a very good point, and I appreciate your email and your content. I think that we'll get it out, and if I can, we have budget hearings still all week, but I think I may put the Facebook to reiterate what we have tomorrow for the businesses and for anybody else that sees that. I'm not sure how many we have. It's 4,000 or 5,000 views, I believe, from the township. So, does that help you out a little bit? Okay, thank you.
Any other open business? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move.
Motion by Ms. Pusak, supported by Ms. Armiak to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries.